Sergeant Junior was just getting the award. That's okay. All right.
Attention to orders. The Legion of Merit is presented to Sergeant Major James M. Bunch for exceptionally meritorious service, 75th Ranger Regiment. Sergeant Major Bunch's exceptional, selfless service, dedication, and commitment to excellence set the example for all others to follow. His actions contributed immeasurably to the mission's success and the defense of the nation. His performance brings great credit upon himself, the White Falcons, 82nd Airborne Division, the 18th Airborne Corps, and the United States Army. Signed, James L. Huggins, Jr., Major General, U.S. Army, Commanding. Secretary of the Army has reposed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and professional excellence of the following soldiers. In view of these qualities and their demonstrated leadership potential and dedicated service to the United States Army, they are therefore promoted to the grade of Sergeant. By order of the Secretary of the Army, signed Jill R. Spahn, Chief Warrant Officer 3, Adjutant General Corps, Chief Enlisted Promotions. Sergeant William Amaro. Sergeant Stephen R. Keys. Sergeant Chad E. Deaver. Sergeant Jason M. Gibbs. Sergeant Matthew Stiff. Sergeant Philip D. Ehorn. Sergeant Chris Champion. Sergeant Jeremy J. Randlett.
Slide in here a little closer so we can get you in the picture. Great. Your name is? There you go.
All right, the next generation of non-commissioned officers.
The following individuals will receive a coin from the 36th Chief of Staff of the Army, General George W. Casey, Jr.
Group, pulse, right, face.
The first four individuals represent two teams which placed during a recent sniper competition. Staff Sergeant Kyle Maples. Staff Sergeant Brent Davis. Specialist Mason W. Heller. Specialist Juan V. Valencia. The next two individuals were True Blue during the recent Expert Infantryman Badge training. First Lieutenant Dustin M. Dieter. PFC Seth C. Kilby. The next recipient was the Distinguished Honor Graduate of the Advanced Leaders Course, Staff Sergeant Heidi Warren. The final recipient was a member of a team which represented Fort Bragg and placed second during the Department of Defense Armed Forces Culinary Arts Competition, Sergeant Melissa Soto.
How about big hand? Sure. Why don't y'all squeeze, come on in over here. Take it easy, everybody. It's nice to be out of Washington and down here amongst great soldiers. And we've just finished up our annual Association of the United States Army Conference here in D.C. Great fandango, but I'll tell you, between that and the traveling I've been doing around the Army to places like this, it's amazing to me what a absolutely resilient, professional, and combat seasoned force we have. And what I'm seeing is with the work that we've been doing as an Army over the last 3 years to get ourselves back in balance, and combined with the drawdown in Iraq to about 50,000, we're actually getting to a point where we're starting to breathe again. And that's a great thing. And we're going to we'll get more time to go out and start training for things other than Iraq and Afghanistan. And I was just down with the Panthers at JRTC last weekend, and they were executing a brigade defense. First one that they'd really done, and anybody had really done in quite a while. And I can tell you, there's a lot of learning going on down there. They were reintroducing themselves to Mr. Ground and understanding how ground means an awful lot, especially to an infantryman. And they were reintroducing themselves to their radios, which they told me, you know, General, you don't jump fiber optic like we have in Iraq and Afghanistan. So they were analog for about 3 days down there. But great stuff. But the thing I saw that impressed me the most is we are absolutely lethal at platoon and company level. When they close with the enemy, they were absolutely dominant and decisive. So anyway, wonderful watching professionals trying to rekindle their craft. The other thing I'd share with you, we just presented, the President just presented our 4th Medal of Honor from this war to Staff Sergeant Rob Miller from 3rd Special Forces Group, right over here. And when he was doing that, he talked eloquently about what Sergeant Miller did. But basically, he was out with his team and about 14 Afghans, and they walked into a prepared position with about 100, 150 Taliban. And they walked right into the middle of the kill zone. Sergeant Miller immediately attacked into the heart of the position so that his soldiers could pull back. His team leader, a captain, was wounded, but he continued to fight them almost single-handedly as everybody fell back to prepared positions. He was throwing grenades, he got hit, he kept fighting, but because of his efforts, his team and the 14 Afghans survived. And when the President finished telling that story, he didn't stop. And he said, but this was not just about Staff Sergeant Miller giving his life for his team, because his team then fought their way back into that same kill zone to extract his body. And they got there, they got to him once, but the fire was overwhelming, they had to pull back, and they went back in a second time to get him out. And he said something that really stuck with me, because it's not just about one soldier giving his life for a team, it's about other soldiers helping soldiers. And it's that bond of trust and camaraderie that has bound us together as an Army over these last 9 years of war. And it's the same bond of trust that's going to bind us together as we go into the 2nd decade of the 21st century in this war. So good luck to you all. God bless you, and thanks for the great work you're doing down here. Thanks very much. All right.
This concludes today's ceremony. Thank you for your attendance.